Paul Show, brought to you by AdventuresInMinistry.com, the Palisades Church of Christ here in Birmingham, Alabama, and also the Lads to Leaders program. With me, as always, is John Podine, right over here, as always, and myself, Paul Sperlin, coming to you live from the Adventures in Ministry studios here in Birmingham, Alabama, the Magic City where we have now renamed ourselves the New Seattle.
Seattle.
New Seattle. It rains constantly, and so there we go. It's a crazy thing. A lot of things to talk about today. We're going to wrap up and talk about Exposure Youth Camp 2018. What a success that was. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about some events happening in this year in 2019. Happy New Year to everyone. Hope you had a safe and happy holiday season. We'll also talk about some football happenings and also some stadium faux pas, as we are getting a lot of complaints and hearing a lot of complaints from people with their bowl experience. Imagine that. 5,000 people joining you for a bowl game and everyone complains. But anyway, I'll pass it over to my partner in crime over here, John Podine. John, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, Paul. You know, we are still working out the bugs apparently on this system, but that's okay. Are you rested back up from the Exposure Youth Camp experience? That's really the question everybody wants to know.
Everybody wants to know if Paul Sperlin has rested.
Yes.
I have rested. My mom came and stayed with us last night. Lainey's birthday is this weekend, and she came down to spend the night and everything. And so she didn't want to hang out, so we're sitting on the couch last night, and I literally on the couch sat there and slept for 2 hours on my own couch. So I'm still trying to grab some rest when I can, and so it's I'm getting back to it, but we're good.
Yes, you outed me with your mom last night. I really appreciate that one.
Yeah, she was in the car, and John said some words, not bad words, but just millennial words that my mom doesn't understand yet. So
millennial words that really embarrassed me.
Yeah, and I didn't mean it. You know, I mean, y'all know each other for a while. She expects that. It's all good. It's like her second son.
Man, we are rested up. Did you have a good New Year's?
I did. Talking about things and being embarrassed, I thought about starting the show with, yes, we're gray, but we're so immature. So stay tuned and watch the show. We are ready to go.
We are. We're glad that everybody's out there, Paul. We had a wonderful week at Exposure that we're going to spend some time talking about here. There's been some wonderful football games that have taken place.
Yes.
Some not so wonderful football games. So.
Absolutely. In addition to that, and I don't want to go back and jump ahead, but we need to really push everybody to try to like our the John and Paul Facebook page. And when I say John and Paul, it's John with an N after that, Paul Show. That's not only our page, it's our website.com. It's at John N. Paul Show, John and Paul Show at Instagram and Twitter, and so follow that.
And very soon will be YouTube.
Yeah, very soon YouTube. We already got it hooked up, ready to go, and excited. So when we start putting these videos and making them look better and getting Caleb Sampson to make them look better than we possibly could, and thanks to him for that and all his work. My goodness.
Yes, because we need all the help we can to make us look good, Paul.
No doubt. No doubt. New Year's resolutions involved in that, hopefully.
Yes, it'll be okay. You look great, Paul.
Yeah, this is why we're friends. I like you so much. Thank you.
Oh, guys, and all that. That's awesome.
That's great.
Oh, Veronica's trying to call into my office right now. She's just not going to be able to answer. You're going to text her, Paul, and tell her, sorry, we're on the phone.
Okay.
We're on the show. Oh, man. But, yeah, it has been a great we got a lot of amazing things that are going to take place, especially with the YouTube channel going to be starting up. Definitely go and like us on the Facebook page and follow everything that's going to be taking place. I love what Caleb Sampson's doing and helping us out and getting all those things together. And so hopefully everything will continue to go big and go strong here in 2019. So tell me, Paul, what was a New Year's resolution that you had for 2019?
Oh, I don't know if I should say. I think it's obvious. So, oh my goodness. I'm one of those people that doesn't like. Oh, she said, sorry, I didn't know. And there's her text. What's up? Don't text me weird things because they'll pop up right here. Now here comes
That's
all
true.
the texts. Paul.
Hey, Marie.
I know. And Marie, yeah, she said she liked the video. Cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I've not had a soft drink all of 2019. I have not eaten any sweets in 2019. I have not eaten any junk food in 2019. So far, so good on January 4th. A-okay. I'm not the kind of guy that goes out on Facebook and posts, this is how terribly obese I am, and this is how small I really want to be. And at one time, I actually did weigh 185. No one will believe that, but I ran
believe you, Paul.
diligently to get into the United States Navy, and so I need to go back in. I need to go through boot camp. So that's something I'm dealing with, and so working on this year. I can't call it a New Year's resolution because I'm afraid if I do, I will fail. So I'm just calling it a new goal for my personal life and for the health of myself and my family. So I can't call it a New Year's resolution.
Let's put it this way, Paul. I will say that I have had a soft drink since the new year.
Of course you have. Because
yes,
you're breathing.
I have one right next to me right now this morning.
Wait, does Coke Zero count? I don't think so.
What'd you say?
Diet Cokes don't count, right? Diet drinks don't count.
I will not touch a diet drink.
No, Coke Zero is the bomb. I mean, I love it.
I will not
Zero
touch
is
anything
great.
like that.
It's the only extra thing I can have. So it's all water. Dasani is my friend. But every now and then I got to have a Coke Zero. Because you can't have like Mexican food or a pizza
I know.
without a Coke Zero. Without some kind of carbonation. So you're like, hey, Paul, sorry, dude.
Well, you know what's funny with that, Paul, is that one of my New Year's resolutions was normally I walk in here around between 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. And so I actually got here yesterday, like at 7:55. Veronica had a heart attack. Mike passed out. And then Darlene and Brenda and Roy thought that my truck was broken down since it was already here.
Yeah.
So
They're like, what's wrong with you? You're here early.
I got there early, so yeah, I was proud of myself.
That's cool. That's cool. Very good. Very good. Very good.
Yeah, I see Caleb is joining us. He says he's missing Dan Winkler at the Gather conference to watch the show today.
Is he at the Gather, or is he watching it? Is it streamed online, by the way? By the way, that's a pretty legit situation Michael Whitworth and his crew have put together. I believe this is its first year, and really some neat stuff. Really some neat stuff. I've been watching some of that stuff online.
Man, there's some good stuff in there that is taking place. But we got some good stuff to talk about, too, today, Paul.
We do, John.
For those who do not know, especially if you've never tuned into our show ever, then you have no idea that we just got back not too long ago from Huntsville, Alabama for Exposure Youth Camp.
And bless your heart for all the things you've missed.
2018, Paul.
Right.
18.
18's over. That's right.
Yeah, considering I was putting 2019 everywhere.
He did. He was tweeting that out. And what's
pretty
weird
funny.
is everybody kept following it. And
they did.
Like,
nobody called it until I was like, oh, man.
Like, I'm not saying people don't usually like Podine stuff, but for some reason they really love this one, and they were like on the wrong year. It's like, I'm so
I was
excited
on the wrong year. I was already looking ahead.
Yeah, that's okay.
And we're looking ahead, though, too. But Paul, it was the biggest year that we've ever had with Exposure, over 2,700 people and in attendance. And, man, it was just amazing.
And the atrium singing really looked like about 3,000. It really looked like the town showed up.
It did. I mean, the whole bottom was packed. All the floors were packed. It was great. And, first and foremost, we couldn't do it with everybody, spending their hard effort to come down, and those sponsors and those campers and all the chaperones that attended.
Oh,
man,
yeah.
There's no way we could have done it without their help.
No, it was great. It was awesome. I really appreciate it. Highlight of the weekend, John.
Oh, man. Highlight of the weekend.
I should take atrium singing out.
I'll take the atrium singing out. From the fact that I didn't bust my tail on the ice. That's probably my highlight of the week.
So here's the thing. I wasn't going to even say anything about it.
Yes, you were.
No,
you were going
I had
to.
forgotten all about it. And then you said it, and I'm like, okay, John, I have to ask. And you have to defend yourself.
I will defend myself.
Why in the world were you on the ice?
Okay, Scott Bailey was supposed to get me enough people to do it, and so we got back there. We thought we only needed 8 people. Remember that?
I do remember
We
that.
thought we only needed 8 people. We got back there and we needed 9,
Right.
and I didn't have time to go find another one. So I was like, "Well, I'll just go and do it. It'll be fine. I'll just jump up. I will sacrifice myself, my body, for this chance to win $60."
You took one for the team, and you made
I
sure
took one for the team,
and you made sure that you didn't have any financial gain because of it. So there was that. So.
That is true. I got 0 financial gain out of it.
I don't want to laugh in the microphone because it's really sensitive today, and so, but it's funny. I wanted you to be able to tell them why, because we don't usually put our own people or us out there. We get chastised for putting our own people out there, and so I want to make sure they know that it was a game time decision, and they asked you to had to have somebody. You're there. You actually made this, and he would never admit this. John made the entire arena erupt with sounds of applause to the point to where the announcer actually said, "Can we get everybody to please applaud that way for when we score for the Havoc, just like you score for John Podine?" So I just now realized I'm talking about John Podine scoring. So
that's not true.
And
that's not true.
It was. So I mean,
everybody listening into this audience knows that's not true.
I mean, it is too. He did too say that. So they needed the help, they needed the assistance, and we were there to grant them their wish.
Well, especially after that way they haven't played the first period that night.
I don't know what was going on. I mean, of course, they're defending the ring. Beautiful ring, by the way. They have one in the main office we got to look at and everything. But that a little slow going. But boy, they made it a party by the end of the game. When 6-5, I think was the final. 5-4.
They did a good time on there. Landon Olson's chiming in here. He says the highlight of his week was, as things were winding down, they had a group discussion with his youth group there from Vernon, Alabama.
Yeah.
And that the kids were truly engaged, and it showed that they had been uplifted by EYC.
That's awesome.
That's a good Bible answer there, Landon.
That's really good.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah,
Landon stepped it up.
Landon was one of our team leaders.
Yeah, he was. Did a great job. I think that's got to be a highlight for our week, is the guys that come in and help lead these groups. I mean, the only pay they get is the satisfaction of being able to serve God and to help those teenagers and stuff. And so we really appreciate them for doing that. It's not easy finding the quality guys to do those things. And so our thanks to our board members who actually locate those people, but also the people that actually come through with that work. And so we really appreciate that. Team time, we wouldn't be Exposure without it. It'd be a different event without the team time, but it's really, really important and high part of what we do for Exposure Youth.
It is, Paul. And, that's what everybody has said. We've heard it. We've probably heard it for years, that everybody has said that's what makes it different than your typical youth rally, because we started as a camp and we wanted to keep that camp mentality. You go to camp, you meet different people, you're in cabins and stuff like that. And so we try to bring that mindset to what we do in Huntsville. And it's a little different being in hotels, but let me tell you, and I hope Marie is still on here, everything that Marie does to help us with the Von Braun Center and all, finding nooks and crannies to have a team and everything, it's what makes it so special.
Oh, yeah. And while you were saying that, Colin Little comes up and gives us a shout out for team number 22. So if you're team number 22, shout out to you. He appreciates you and had a blessed time with you. Colin, an awesome dude. I had a chance to hang out with him a little bit this week. He is would you call him the new youth minister? He's been there for a little while now, I guess 6 months now. So Colin's the youth minister at the Austinville Church of Christ in Decatur, Alabama. So Colin, thank you for tuning in, and shout out to team number 22.
Yeah, definitely. I see Brandon's chiming in. He said he was just, he was just loving it. The groups were truly engaged. If you didn't get to go see Brandon at his vendor spot with August, let me tell you something. Go and check.
How could you miss it?
Go up and check on the video that he put up. It's on his page, the recap video. Mm-hmm. Man, that's amazing.
Well, I tweeted it through my Twitter account, and we also put it on Exposure's Twitter account and also on Facebook. So go see that. Yeah, Brandon, he asked me, he says, what kind of what you okay?
Sorry.
You okay there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm choking here because Caleb's asked if I was an angel since I was glowing on the computer over there. No, no.
Caleb's our technical dude. He's like,
Yep.
stop the glow.
That's what the
but
glow.
Brandon, he asked me, he says, what kind of area do we have to use? I told him, I said, a table and some power. He says, we don't need a table. He says, how big can it be? I said, well, as big as you want to be. And he took me on that, and it was huge. And it was like Apple went on the road and set up. It was truly legit. I mean, it was pretty cool, and I was highly impressed with that. So if you get a chance, basically, if you didn't stop by and take advantage of the things they had to offer there, they were willing to even give away T-shirts if you would just find people to be a part of that great ministry, which is, I'm going to say it this way, I'll probably say it wrong, Facebook for the Christians and for the Christian teenager and adult. Basically, it's a curated website where it's watched over so that only the faithful of God's people are able to be a part of it, so you're not compromised by people, doing creepy stuff, but you're going to get nothing but good things. And so please keep that in mind. That's august.com. Go there, sign up, be a part. It's free to be a part of it, to join and to start connecting with, I think, millions of people, John, across the world. So
Oh man, yeah.
He's
got stuff all the way. There are people you connect in China, to India, to in Europe, and here. I mean, sometimes, Paul, we kind of get in our own little bubble, our own little box. Especially being here in the South, we really have our own little box.
You forget there's stuff happening all over the world.
There's so much more out there.
Yeah.
And so Brandon and the guys over there, what they're doing at August is really, it's mind blowing.
Their spot at Exposure where they were is almost imprinted in the floor because this is where they'll be next year. I mean, it's just where they should be. It's so bright and shiny, and it's like, come see us. We're awesome people.
It was glowing.
It was awesome, and the T-shirts were hilarious. I mean, they were great.
Oh,
I wish
I love the one with David choreographing.
Oh yeah. I got one of the dinosaur skeleton that says "I hate floods." Pretty funny.
Well, Paul, we did have a good time in there with 2,700 people. All of our keynote speakers did a fabulous job. And I haven't heard one negative thing about any of the speakers and anything like that with worship. And sometimes that's rare when you're putting on a youth event with this many people. Generally, it's a challenge to be able to meet everybody and reach everybody. But man, our speakers did a great job this year.
They did, and not to exclude anybody out, we had like near 20 vendors, and so we did mention August. We do want to say thank you to the Christian schools that did participate, Faulkner University, Harding University, and Freed-Hardeman University, and Heritage Christian University. We are very thankful for all of those who came and were a part, but especially to Faulkner University for being a part of the our video package that we send out. Couldn't do it without them, and so we're thankful for that, and for the long-standing relationship we have with Faulkner. This was actually, Heritage has been there before, Freed has been there before. This was the first year for Harding, so we're happy to have them on board, and so we do look forward to getting everybody back in there again next year for that, and anybody else who would like to do that. And the best way to do that is just send us an email at johnandpaulshow@gmail.com, and we can hook you up at being a vendor for Exposure next year and start getting your information in. And so we're starting now. What's funny is this, I'm trying to remember who asked me this. I'm trying to remember who it was. Somebody came to me and they said, so it was a great exposure. Appreciate it. I mean, just as soon as worship was over, they said, so I guess now you're going to get some rest. And I said, well, what we're going to do is we're going to give it about 24 hours. We're going to enjoy this one for about 24 hours, and then we're going to get back to it. And so that's kind of what we did. You're right. The keynote speakers were great. The challenge class sessions, John, we meet this next Thursday. So if you have suggestions, send them to us. But this past year, I don't know. It's going to be tough to the topics versus the speakers. The combined effort of that and the quality people came away with. I mean, it was really awesome, and we can't say enough about how great that was, and the response we're getting from it because of the surveys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the surveys have really bounced back and have shown a lot of positivity toward the spiritual challenge sessions. That everybody come back that I've heard they were just like, wow, we wish we could have gotten to every single one of them. Mm-hmm. They were full. Sorry about the people we had to kind of push away because we just didn't have enough space for all of them in those rooms and everything like that, which is a great problem, but we know that we're already talking about it. Marie's already working on it, trying to find the spaces at the VBC for next year of where to put everybody, because, Paul, we're looking at being, over 3,000 next year.
Oh, yeah. I really think that's going to be the case, and looking forward to that. Already sending messages out and contacts with congregations who have not yet attended exposure. And so if
one thing, Paul, that I loved about this year was the groups that came from Virginia and Ohio, and of course McCook came back from Nebraska. Mm-hmm. And they're coming out every year. It's amazing that those people came from all over North Carolina. Yeah. Just people we're not used to having.
Well, and it's pressure on us because we want to make sure we put on a good product because they are making that big distance. And there's no guarantees that everybody will be in any particular hotel. But the one guarantee we can give you is that we're going to enjoy ourselves, we're going to have a good time, we're going to meet other Christians, and we're going to be spiritually uplifted and leave better than we came. And so hopefully that's the case, and you're fully equipped, well, not fully equipped, but equipped to start the year, refreshed and ready to go. And now, John, we're entering into the season of events, and so hopefully we sort of set the tone for excitement that we're going to get throughout the year.
Yeah, this really is. This is always kind of the kickoff. I know it's the kickoff for me, it's the kickoff for you, for things we got going on between now and really till AIMCon. This is the time when we kick in and everything keeps going left and right. So I always love it because it's a good way to end the year, to start the new year, and to kick off this season of everything going on.
Yeah. Well, and our lives don't get any less crazy right now because you and I are actually going two different directions, and we'll probably pass each other on the road. But
we are.
You're going to Texas. I'm going to South Georgia. That's happening next week, and so John is going to be doing I guess the John Podine Lives the Leaders campaign. He's going to be going to Texas. So if you're in the state of Texas, Podine will come see you. Let him talk to you about the Lives Leaders program and maybe a little exposure if you'd like to know about that.
I am coming to Texas, where everything is supposedly bigger and better.
That's right. And I'll be going to Valdosta, Georgia, as myself and Wes Ayers, who is on our committee, one of our committees for AIMCon, or our committee for AIMCon, and on the board here for Adventures in Ministry. And we're going to Valdosta, Georgia, to the Southern Summit that is going to be put on by the Moultrie congregation and the area congregations there in the south part of Georgia. Looking forward to this. Some great speakers. Bill Watkins will be there. Michael Whitworth will be there, and others. And so Wes and I will be speaking in the youth part of it. And so we're looking forward to speaking to the young people about discipleship and how to be a good follower of Christ. And so we're looking forward to it. Never been there before. Really excited. So if you're in Georgia or the south part of the area, come in and see us, come be a part. And I'm looking forward to being a part of that fellowship there. It starts that Friday night at 7 and goes through Sunday morning worship. And that is, if I get my numbers right, what is that, 11 through 13?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah, 11 through 13.
There is one other group, Paul, that I want us to thank that we need to make a special shout out here, and I just noticed it because their grandmother is mentioning it on the chat over here right now, and that's the group from Hartselle, Alabama.
Oh,
the youth group from Hartselle.
You said grandmother. Who are you talking about?
It says Carol Brown.
Oh yeah,
my grandsons TJ and Sellers.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Hardest.
Everything you saw set up at Exposure this year, if you came and you set up, especially in the worship area, that would not have been there if it had not been for these guys from Hartselle.
And the photo booth.
Youth group coming over and helping.
And the photo booth. And the girls helped Veronica with setting up for all the registration stuff too. So a lot of work being done. The Hartzell group came in a day early to help us, and we appreciate them for doing that. And
it took us 24 hours to get everything set up. And can you imagine if they hadn't been there, Paul?
oh, I know. We'd be in trouble. So
yeah,
so
and shout out to Beltline for helping us clean up. They stayed around and helped clean up, and shout out to those guys. And
Absolutely.
because we couldn't do it, there's no way that the 12 of us on this board could do that.
That's absolutely true. Yeah, I'm glad you said that. That's really good.
With all of that, now we do need to talk about the atrium singing, Paul.
Go ahead, John. I think you're the one fully qualified to talk about the atrium singing.
I'm not fully qualified to talk about the atrium singing.
Well, you were at the bottom of it. You saw it all. You directed the whole thing. So I think.
Let me tell you something. From the first time we started our first worship service on Friday night, was it Friday night? Thursday night.
Thursday night. Yeah.
Was that when we started? Thursday night.
Thursday night. Yeah.
Thursday night. And I've been doing this at Exposure now for 20 years, leading singing at this event. No first night has ever had as great singing as it was that night.
Wow.
And it was just amazing. The young people, the older people alike coming together and sing. I mean, even as a leader, I just want to sit up there and stop singing and just listen.
So I'm going to stop you for a second. So you're talking about the first night. The singing was the best that's ever been on any first night of Exposure.
It's best night singing, first night singing ever of Exposure.
Because you and I, and you know this, and I hope you don't mind me sharing this, you and I were very scared about being in that room.
Yes, we were.
If y'all noticed, we had to swap the rooms. Where you ate last year is where we worshipped, and where we worshipped this year is last year where we ate. And so we were scared the bigger room would just swallow it up, and we're worried about the sound. So kudos goes to Dennis Washington and Heath and their crew in making the sound just what it needed to be. No one complained about speakers. No one complained about sound. If a speaker speaks and he speaks softly on a point, we can't do anything about that. But when it comes to singing and everything else, everything was on point, and so it definitely turned out better than we expected. And so yeah, we're very thankful that worked out the way it did.
Yeah, because we had worship in there about 15 years ago.
Yeah, with
maybe 13 years ago. We had worship in that room when we were definitely a lot smaller than what we are now. And it kind of swallowed us all up. And so we were concerned, but man, it was, it's just everything you look forward to.
Mm-hmm. It is. We work all year for this.
Hey, Caleb put in there. He put the web address for the atrium singing. If you've never heard that, if you have no idea what we're even talking about, go check that out. 3,000 people in the embassy. It's just, man, people. I saw comments on there, Paul, that people were saying they look forward to watching that because they're watching from all over the United States and all over the world. They look forward to that every year now, watching that online.
So that being said, to all those people watching all over the world, if you will just quickly share that for us and we'll hit our goal. Right now we're looking at 90,000 views, which is incredible just in a week. So let's continue to let that go through the year and see how far we can go and make that priority. So please share that. And not just share that, share this show so we can continue to promote and help out this program and many other programs that we get to attend and know about through the year. If there's an event you have going on through the year and you would like to have us to promote it here and tweet out and help you promote an event, we will do that. If you would like for us to be there, we can do that. We can do our show from there and things like that. I'd love to help you. Just send us an email at johnandpaulshow@gmail.com and we'll make that happen. We love to be there. We love people. We love God's people, and we always look forward to fellowshipping and being with good people. So
yeah, definitely for sure.
That being said, John, what are some of the high points through the year? We got a lot of things coming up. We mentioned the Southern Summit. You're going to Texas. I know for a lot of folks, Gulf is coming up for MLK weekend. EU in Savannah, and so of course you got in February. We got CYC. We have CYC Dallas is MLK weekend as well. Anything else? Have I pretty much hit it? I mean, those are starting out through February, but what else are we looking at this year?
There's other things coming on. Colin, he's a part of.
Come on,
what's
Colin.
It called?
Help us out.
Heritage.
It's a family retreat at Heritage Christian University. The entire family's involved, and it's called the Fusion Conference. and
Yes.
that is put on by Colin Little, and he's got a crew there that helps and does that, and the good work he does there. He's been in that for a little while, and does a really great job, and putting together events as well. And so if you have time and you go over there, I believe it's just a day, but I think it's a day worth it. And so you can contact him on Facebook. Colin Little is his name, and then you'll find him here, or call the Austinville congregation.
Yeah, he's mentioning that Kirk Brothers and Keith Parker are the speakers for this year. And so those two great guys, everybody would love to go and do it. So if you're definitely around that Florence area, check that out. He says the date is March 16th for that up there at Heritage Christian. You got Sword that's taking place in March, and both of us will be there for that one.
That is correct. I think we're supposed to do a show while we're down there.
Yeah, we are. We're going to do a show while we're down there in Augusta. Go see Jeremy. You got there is something that takes place in April that is pretty big that you and I go to every year. But we'll be in separate locations this year.
We will. John will be in Louisville, and I'll be in Atlanta.
Yes, it's the Lads the Leaders convention. If you have not registered, make sure you do that.
Oh, you should have already done that.
Yeah, you should have. Then everybody's camps start taking off, and we've got AIMCon that closes out the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And so, man, it's just this time it starts the busy season.
Yeah, it really does. It really does.
And
there's a lot to that. John, let's get a little more on the Lads the Leaders front and give a little love there. I know your folks where you're at will appreciate that. If they've never participated, they've just heard about it, because I even had people this weekend at Exposure tell me about Lads. I'm like, well, go see that guy, and that was you or Veronica or Mike. What can they do, and what sort of, I don't know, 60 seconds or less, take 2 or 3 minutes, who cares, about Lads the Leaders? If they don't know anything about it, they've heard about what it is, what's the hook? What's the thing that'll help them the most?
Well, I think the thing here that would help them the most to try to understand is that there isn't a magic pill. It's not a youth program. It's a church program. It's for everybody to get involved in, young and old. We got people all the way from 3 years old to 103 years old that participates in this. And, it's for all of us, from little basics to Bible reading to giving speeches and debates and putting things into action. That's part of the Good Samaritan program of not just saying I'm doing this, but actually putting it into action and doing these things. And here's the thing, Paul, if anybody's interested, that is out there watching this and listening to this right now, if you're interested in this at all, please call me up, send me an email. You can send me an email at johnpodine@gmail.com. You can send one here to the show to us. Paul will get it to me. You can email me here at work at john@ladsleaders.com. You can do that. Anything that we can do to help, further the kingdom. It's all about all of us working together. Because here's the deal, Paul, and you and I know this because we worked with youth for long enough. Statistically, out of everybody that you have in your youth group, it says statistically 25% of them will stay faithful after high school if you do nothing. If all they do is go to church on Sunday and Wednesday, only 25% of them will stay faithful after they graduate high school. That number statistically jumps up to 54% if you do something at least like a youth group or have some sort of program. That's something that's kind of geared at least doing something within all that. Right. But those that have big youth groups or have solid, I don't say big youth groups, solid youth group programs where they have a youth minister that's there working with their kids, and they have a program like a Lads the Leaders or something like that, that rate jumps up to 85%. This is what we're talking about. We're talking about the souls of everybody that we have in our churches. And so that's kind of what Lads the Leaders can offer you.
That is cool. I just practiced putting the camera only on you, so that was.
Don't do that, Paul. That is scary looking.
This Mevo thing's pretty fun.
No, Mevo is messed up.
It's weird. It's weird to be able to have the control, the con.
That is, Paul. You just wait till I have control.
I can turn his volume down and put him away, and it's awesome. It's great. No, seriously, Lads the Leaders. I mean, Lads the Leaders made John Podine who he is today, and right, wrong, or indifferent, myself as well. There's a lot of guys in ministry who came up in this program, and we really attribute and thank Brother Jack Zorn, Brother
Brother Doctor. And the thing is, Paul, it's not about the convention. Everybody always says, we'll go do the convention. It's not about the convention. Yes, the convention is fun. The convention has something to work toward.
Yeah.
But it's about putting it into your action at your church every week.
Curriculum for all ages from beginning to end. So.
Yeah.
And this isn't just a kid thing. This is a family thing. And so.
Absolutely.
If we don't use it as a family thing, then we're not using it properly. And so do that. You can encourage one another. It's just a great thing. Really great thing.
Yeah, it is. So you'll be hearing more about that and other things out there. I see Brandon said he's going to be in Nashville for Last Leader. So, cool. We're going to have a lot of good time. We got a lot of things we're going to be talking about on the show for different events coming up. So please, if you have an event, send it over to us. We'd love to do it.
Sounds great. Especially if you're in Texas, because he's coming out there. He'd love to come and meet with you and talk to you. So
yes,
now's the time.
I'm excited about going to Texas, Paul. I'm not going to lie.
I would be too. It's pretty awesome.
I mean, you know what the old country song said?
Mama, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys.
No, the old country song says, God bless Texas.
Mama,
so I'm going to find out if they did or not.
To be cowboys. What? Say what?
The old country song said, God bless Texas.
Did you really call it the old country song?
Yes, it's an old country song.
That was a group called, were they called Little Texas?
I don't remember.
I remember they were hot. I mean, I remember they were like really good, awesome.
Oh boy!
And so
we're just showing our age.
You call it the old country song, it makes me think. That's what. Speaking of old things, okay. So we're transitioning into football. So no disrespect here. We'll continue next Friday with the show as the show ends. I know I'm literally wheels turning, getting out of here. But I look forward to next week. Some things we'll talk to you next week about some programming opportunities for your program, for your youth groups, for your congregation, and some things that we're doing here at Palisades. We're really excited about, and so we'll share that with you next week when it comes to curriculum and things like that as well. But as we transition now into college football and football things, I have a question, and I'm asking for trouble. I know I'm asking for trouble when I do
Yes,
this.
you are.
Here we go. So I'm trying something out new. I need to know, beard, yes or no?
Oh. I like when you go with the beard. I've lost you, Paul.
Did you really?
There you are.
Right here.
I like the beard. What do you think about it?
I like it. It makes Stephanie hurt. So she has to really pucker up to kiss. So there's that.
That's how. Hey, you can wake her up that way.
Yeah, she loves that. I don't know. I've never ever presented God's word in a beard, and I feel like that I could if I wanted to, because if Jerry Elder can do it, anybody can. I mean, Jerry, once he's done that, it's there and it's okay. It's okay. I mean, Jerry's awesome, and if Jerry likes it, I like it. So I think that's pretty funny. But then I have other friends, ironically, Dale Jenkins, who shaves like in the middle of the night. I mean, like you'll never see him. You'll never see him without being shaven. And but I hate shaving. I hate it completely. It's terrible.
Caleb says that song was in 1993, Paul. So I guess I really did just date us.
Little Texas, though, was that the name of the group?
Little Texas, I guess. I don't know.
Oh man, 1993. Okay. Anyway, all right. So we got college football happening, and we also have pro football happening. We got the playoffs coming in, and I know you're going to Texas. Seattle's going to take on the Dallas coming up here soon, and so a lot of things going on with that. We won't make those picks really probably until we get closer to like AFC, NFC kind of thing. Until then, it's just a big wild card.
It is a big wild card.
Oh, well, I thought that was funnier than it really was. But there's that. But right now, let's talk a little about college football, and then we get into some stadium faux pas. So let's talk faux pas real quick. We're getting a lot of phone calls in local radio stations talking about their complaining about their experience at the SEC championship game, mainly because at the new dome there, the Mercedes-Benz in Georgia, in Atlanta, Georgia, basically they put in temporary seating on the top rows in the stadium. The Falcons don't need them, but for like Super Bowl, we'll definitely use them. An SEC championship game definitely needed it. People are like really not liking those seats. Like they don't see the screens, and they're having bad experiences. And it's just a lot of people who are like Tide Pride people. When they get tickets, their ticket is top row, and so I don't know. It's kind of weird how they're getting a whole lot of complaints on that. But
all I will say about the Dome is that Florida is now 1-0 in it.
Oh my goodness!
I just had to say that, Paul.
Well, he didn't get much, so folks. Let's give him this one.
I know. Thank you.
Thank
you.
There you go.
I just wanted to say that. Let me ask you this about faux pas and everything that's going on. What do you think about the price of the national championship tickets going down and selling under face value even by $300
Location.
I know.
I mean,
this is why
in the
I'm
world,
not for necessarily expansion.
Yeah. Well, who in the world cares about going to Santa Clara? I mean, it's stinking expensive just to get there. So you might as well at least watch a game for an affordable price once you get there. So I told Stephanie this morning, if I'm going, this is the time to go because tickets are dropping. Because nobody out there cares about Alabama or Clemson. They just don't. Not many at all.
Well, and let me ask you this: after watching the games this weekend, Colin's asking. He said, what happened to UCF and Georgia and all them? Do we really need an 18 playoff when you see what happened here? Do we not have the two best teams, which everybody has said all year is going to be in the game?
They've been 1-2 all year long.
I mean, this cries out for BCS moment.
Hello, I know. It could have ran for the BCS and been the same result. Adding more people, all that's doing is adding more opportunities to the mediocre. I'm sorry.
And I think you kill the bowl. You're killing the bowl games even worse than they're already killed now.
Yeah. Oh, they're already dying. They're already saying the 6 and 6 teams need to be out. That's dumb.
We got too many bowl games.
4,000 people in a 60,000 seat.
That's
just
embarrassing.
Sad. It's sad. It's so sad. That needs to happen. The other thing too that you mentioned about UCF. Just think about this, and I think you'll appreciate this, John. UCF beat the 5th best team in the SEC. I'm sorry, were beat by the 5th best team in the SEC, a team that could not score a point against Alabama. So a team that could not have any offense against Alabama. UCF's like, we want Alabama. No, you don't. No, you do not, sir. You do not.
I still want to see UCF and Florida play.
Oh yeah. Well, all that does
that.
is say last year's Auburn team they weren't ready and they didn't want to be there, and they in Georgia have a similar disease. It's called we didn't make it to the Final Four, so we don't care.
Yeah, and I think that's what happened. Landon's talking about UGA here. You had, and look, let's give props to Texas. I didn't expect to see that out of Texas at all.
Well, it's not so much about Texas; it's that Georgia didn't perform.
Well, I agree. I do agree with that. Fromm definitely did not have a good game. Swift couldn't get going. But
did you see Justin Fields play?
Who?
Exactly. Justin Fields. I didn't see him on the field. Did you see him on the field?
No, I did not see him on the field.
Because he didn't play a down.
Yeah, that means he's transferring.
One of two things happened. Either he had a real conversation with Kirby Smart, and he said, I'm not going to be here next year. I don't care what you do. And that's why he didn't play.
Mm-hmm. Tyler brings up something here about UCF because he says they lost their star quarterback. Do you think it would have made a difference in that game?
No, I don't think it would. Tyler who?
Brassfield.
Oh, Tyler Brassfield. Tyler? I haven't seen any social media pics of my good brother, the Oklahoma fan. I had an eye on an Oklahoma shirt. I didn't think I needed it, but I was willing to try it on. But I'm looking forward.
Were you really?
I'm looking forward. Yeah, I'm a jerk. I'm kidding. You don't have to do it. We had a little friendly thing, but He's probably saying something like, "We can't find no Alabama stuff out here." I get
He
it.
says no one sells Bama shirts here.
I know. Well, that works out good for that kind of situation. Hey, they have these clear white jerseys that say like white shirts. You can draw stuff on them, undershirts, and put like "I love Bama." You know, we should have done something like that, but we didn't make that agreement, so you're free and clear.
Yeah.
No, Tyler does plenty for us, so I'm gonna let this one pass.
Oh, Tyler is coming back at this. He says that Bama was favored by 14, spotted y'all 28, and y'all still couldn't cover.
Well, if you remember, I said we wouldn't cover.
You did say that because
Yeah.
I honestly thought Bama I thought what happened at the beginning of the game was what's going to continue throughout the whole game, and I said that Bama's going to blow out OU.
I believe I said 48-38, and I missed it by what 2 or 3 points on both sides.
3,
so
I think.
Pretty close. But yeah, I knew that it'd be about a 10-point difference. Honestly, I didn't think that Bama would start out as fast as they did. I figured they'd turn it on in the second half, but that was the opposite. Oklahoma really turned it on in the third. Man, they owned the third quarter. I was like, what's
They did.
happening?
I like one of our comments in here that says, as an Auburn fan, I wish that I want the playoffs to expand to 25 teams so that they can make it. That's pretty funny.
Who said that?
I got to give credit there.
Who said that?
Sonny Sanders.
Oh, cool. Okay. That's funny.
So that was pretty funny. That's
funny.
definitely pretty funny in there. I don't want to see. I was a traditionalist before, and I want to keep it. I don't want to see it expanded to 8 games.
No, there's no point.
I think it's just trouble with it. But it is what it is, and college football is going to make money either way. I think it is going to be interesting. I wonder how full the stadium will be for the national championship game, considering the being you're looking at what over 2,000 miles a piece away from where the game is being played from Tuscaloosa and Clemson.
Good grief! It's the opposite side of the
So
country. That makes sense.
it is.
But they set this
It
up
is.
4 years ago when they started this whole thing.
Yeah.
So it's a 12 years imprint. So we got like 8 more to deal with unless they do something different. But let's talk a little about the tournament itself. Calling it the tournament. When you got 4 teams together, one side was a big letdown, and one side pretty much held pretty close to what we sort of expected. We expected a semi-close game between Alabama and Oklahoma. We expected the parity there between the schools, the Heisman Trophy winner versus the runner-up. What would happen? What would occur? There was a lot going with that game. But a team without a tournament, a conference tournament, a conference championship, or even a conference that they're in, not to have to go to one because you're not in one. I mean, it's almost like it's a tainted game. It's a tainted playoff because they didn't have to go through the same rigors as everybody else. It is what it is. They're Notre Dame.
Hold on, I got to call you out there.
I didn't say.
Bama fan.
I didn't. Hold on a second. I didn't say win it. I say go through it. Now,
But you didn't go through it last year.
no, I didn't go through it. But I'm glad they had to fight for one though.
Yeah.
But let's look at what was the score? 33.
30-3.
Do you really think Notre Dame is the 4th best team in the nation? Do we really?
I
think
don't.
that?
But I heard this argument, and I've got to give props to this argument. Unless they were in the SEC or the Big Ten East, how would being in those other conferences helped Notre Dame this past year?
Well, if they were in the ACC, they would have had to play Clemson. We would have found out.
Okay, that's it. That's all they would have played. And I guess that's the point is these schools aren't going to push for that because it's like this. It's like the old argument, should the SEC play 9 conference games or should they stay with 8 conference games? Look, the ACC and the SEC, what's doing is working. And they're making it to the national championship game every year. Yeah. So sorry, Big Ten, sorry, Big 12, sorry, Pac-12. If you want to pay your 9 conference games, sorry. Why is the SEC or ACC going to change? Because they're making it. Same thing I will say with Notre Dame. Why should Notre Dame change?
Well, they're wanting us to play those games to help knock each other out a little more. And
I agree with that.
But then you got people like Saban is like, I'd much rather play an extra an extra conference game versus play a cupcake. I don't think Saban wants to play the cupcakes. I think occasionally it's good to revive a little bit and rest a little bit.
It's a money thing. It's a money thing that you get
is.
to bring on campus because you're filling 90-some-odd thousand seats in your stadium.
But 3 of
and
them?
then that's what it is.
Oh, that's a letdown. But
but that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, but it's the whole stigma behind Notre Dame. I just think y'all should have to go through.
I know.
Go through.
I agree. And here's the deal. But what do you say about the rest of them? I hear Noah's commenting in here. Notre Dame could have made it in any conference outside the SEC and ACC. I don't think Notre Dame was that bad. I think Clemson, Alabama, is just that much better. And that's probably true. True. Right now, who's playing the best ball at the end of the year?
The two that are playing.
Yeah.
I mean,
look.
But I
give
think
Ohio State
Oklahoma
some
beats
credit.
Notre Dame.
They played some good ball.
Oklahoma beats Notre Dame though. Georgia beats Notre Dame.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I think a full LSU team would probably beat Notre Dame.
Well, and this is why I still don't want to go to an 18 playoff because who would have been in the playoff?
And I'm not vying for that. I don't think that's the way to go.
I don't either.
I'm just saying. I guess what I'm saying is even the 4s sometimes is a little sparse.
Well, and that's where I completely agree, and that's why I'm not in favor of it.
Yeah.
Landon's asking this question: where's Urban Meyer's next coaching job?
When Kelly leaves Notre Dame, he goes to Notre Dame.
I think you're probably right.
Money.
He will coach. He will coach again.
Did you hear the question? Was it
Yep.
Tom Rinaldi? Was he the one that was there?
Yep.
He asked him. He asked the very same question. He said, so is this it? He said, can you say never? He said, can you say I will never coach again? And he says, oh, I won't coach again. He didn't say never.
That's correct.
He left that door open, and he will go to Notre Dame. He's always had a dream of going there, and he'll go there if it comes open. But after what happened this year, I don't think he'll come up anytime soon.
Yeah.
Unless Kelly decides to go pro, because I know the Eagles were after him a few years ago.
It'll be interesting. It will be interesting in there. So as we're winding down here, Paul, let's kind of see what we got here with all this. So we got a rematch. This is the 4th time they've played in the last 4 years.
It is, and to hear it from the sage wisdom of one Lauren Highnote, it is Clemson's time. We had a discussion during exposure, and we were talking about it. And she said, "Well, Alabama's won 2, Clemson's won 1. It's our time." I'm like, I guess if we're taking turns, it is your time.
Taking turns. Well, and this is the fond farewell for Hunter Renfrow.
Are you sure? I heard he's got 8 more years of possibility of playing. So. I think his grandkids are gonna be able to come and be a part of the pregame show. Renfro's grandkids, I think they're gonna be there and everything. So his lineage of hundreds of years of people will probably join to help him braid his gray hair as he gets ready for this game. But, you're not listening to what I'm saying.
No, I'm reading something here, and I want you to.
No, I want you to stop. I'm talking about his grandkids, and you're not. Oh well.
I don't want grandkids. No, I don't need grandkids.
The point I was trying to make is that Renfrow is very old, and he should have been gone already. But anyway, that is gone now. Tell us, Podine, what do you got?
Well, Tyler commented in here. He said 18 playoff may surprise you. Boise State's only ever mentioned because they probably got the opportunity to play in OU in the Fiesta Bowl in 07, and OU never heard of the Statue of Liberty. So any week, a team like UCF could surprise you and change opinions for years to come. I agree. Except here's what I think is going to happen, and everybody's going to get livid when I'm about to say what I'm going to say. You didn't like last year having 2 SEC teams in the playoffs. You bring 18 playoffs, you're going to have 3. And people are going to be up in arms that 3 of the 8 come from one conference.
I didn't hear you. I was reading. What did you say?
I was
I'm
saying,
kidding. I heard you. You're right. Playoffs. Yeah, if you bring it up to 8, Georgia is definitely in. And let's see.
LSU?
Who's in the top 8? No, LSU was like 11.
Maybe not this year. They wouldn't have been.
But definitely 3.
But there would be a year that there would be 3.
Yeah, and there's could there be a time for 4? I don't know.
I don't think so. I mean,
That's
here's your top 4 that you had right here.
Be
At
funny,
the end of the year, you had Bama, Georgia, LSU, Florida, Kentucky. I think once you get past the Georgia one, I'm not sure. Maybe LSU could get in there, especially with LSU. If LSU hadn't lost to Texas A&M, which that's still the controversial game, I think they would have been up there.
Yeah.
They've been in position.
That's true. By the way, Kentucky Wildcats. Oh my goodness.
Man, give props out to Kentucky March Tubes.
I know.
Now, the question is, will they go back down to their typical Kentucky self?
I don't know. I like to think they keep the momentum going. I know that he and James Franklin, there's no love lost there. They were talking about that the team, the Nittany Lions, Penn State weren't even ready for that game.
Yeah, it wasn't even good. Tyler said he'd be okay with 3 SEC teams because you'd have the added Big Ten and a non-Power 5 champ to offset that because everybody would be your.
That would be the way to get everybody involved. There's no doubt. It'd be hard to have an 8-team playoff and not let everybody be involved. I mean, you'd have to.
Well,
it'd have to be a. You'd have to secure a spot for it. I mean, you have to go 8. I mean, because you got plenty of space. Although Pac-12. Of course, by the way, but Pac-12 they couldn't even fill up their arena for their championship game.
I know.
I'm sorry, I'm going back to other things. Let's give a score. Let's talk about this last game. And then
talk about this game.
Get out of here.
What do you think? Well, give me your non-biased Alabama thoughts of this game.
Impossible, but I'll try. There are 2 factors from the Bama perspective that is a maker or breaker. In both of those, last name is Lawrence. They're not related. Okay, you have a Dexter Lawrence that could have made a big difference on the D-line. He did Bama a big favor by failing his drug test, so he will not be playing. That's a factor. That will help us with our offensive line. Because if you remember last year, it was last 2 years, especially the championship year for Clemson 2 years ago.
Oh, he's a beast.
He was in there, and he caused the difference in the game. He's not there this year. So that's good. So thank you for that. Trevor Lawrence, quite honestly, Dabo prepared for him last year when he, the first of the year when he said, I see myself playing Bama at the end of the year. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put the guy in there that can throw the ball. The difference in him and Kelly Bryant is Trevor's not mobile at all. He's probably one of the best pocket passers as far as arm strength in the nation. So that he does have that for him. If Alabama's defensive secondary can't keep up with the wide receivers, it's going to be a long day for the secondary for Alabama. But that's going to be it. Etienne is an incredible running back, and so that gives them the balance they need. I think Alabama, the defense is just as good as it has been. I think they're going to do the job they need to do, and I think Tua being there is going to be a difference maker when it comes to how they scheme against him, because I think we're going to find him running a little more this time, and I think we're also going to find Jalen in there too. So what Dabo's having to do is he's having to prepare for both quarterbacks after seeing both. And Saban was smart by doing this, by letting Jalen Hurts go in there and throw a couple passes and run a couple plays to make them scheme for them. But I think that Saban will use Jalen in whatever way he can to mix up the schematics of the game. I think Clemson's so good. I mean, I think it's going to be down the wire. I think it's going to come down to the end of the fourth quarter. And the line has dropped down to 5 points.
Is it down to 5 now?
It's down to 5. So, I mean, you're talking they're going to – I mean, good defenses.
Bama, we got a comment, Bama loses on a missed PAT.
That could happen. I mean, that could happen.
It could happen.
What do you think?
I'll say this. I hope that both Tua and Trevor Lawrence are on. I want to see a quarterback battle for the ages.
I think you got
That's what I want to see. I want to see. I don't think either defense is going to stop them completely. I think they're going to be sacks on both sides. I really want to see a quarterback battle for the ages with all this. The running backs, there was a question earlier in our chat room. Jacobs hasn't been practicing. Does that scare anybody here on the Bama sideline that he hasn't been practicing on things?
That was addressed already today, actually, on public radio. And they said not to worry about it. It's not an issue. So he's fine. Who's going to play?
See, it's just going to be. I do think having Dexter Lawrence out is a huge hit for Clemson on that D line, and even on the offense when they get down to the goal line and they need to put the big meat package in to score those, give NTN a touchdown in there. I'm looking for this to be, out of the 4 meetings, I'm looking for this to be the best game of the 4.
I hope not.
That I really think, even when it came down a couple years ago when Clemson knocked off Bama to win the national championship, it came down to the wire.
Yeah. I
think even better than that game.
So who do you think comes out of the win, and how will they do it?
Well, I mean, we've said all year we think Bama is the best. This is the best Bama team that they've had. I think it's a close game. I think you're looking at 3 points or less. ETN. Are we saying it wrong, Noah?
I'm saying it like backwards explosion, NTN. ETN.
I think you're looking at like a 3-point game, and heavens help Alabama if it comes down to a field goal.
No, yeah, they won't win if it comes down to that. Sorry.
It is. But I'm still – Tyler put his score up 24-20. That's probably where I would sit. It's like a 24-21, 27-24, something like that.
Who does Tyler have winning it?
He's got Bama winning it.
Wow. You know what, Tyler? Don't worry about the T-shirt. You just redeemed yourself. Thank
you. So what are you thinking?
I mean, I got to have a win for Bama, obviously. I think it's going to be closer to the 5 points. I'm going to say 31-25.
31-25. Ooh, yeah, that could be interesting. I don't think either team blows them out.
I don't think so. I would love to see Bama blow them out just because it makes my heart feel better. But it's we get too wrapped up in this stuff. We really do. But it's fun.
Yes, y'all do. Tyler says only the best team in the nation could have beaten OU. Well, Texas was pretty good in there then.
He said that. I did not. They righted that wrong though. They took care of that.
They did. Noah has a score of Clemson 40, Alabama 10.
See, Noah and I are not friends anymore because he's correcting my English and picking scores that are ridiculous. So,
if Alabama scores 10 points, Saban's retiring.
If what?
If Alabama only scores 10 points, Saban's retiring.
No, he's not. He'll do it again next year because he's got the same team. So.
Yeah, it'll be crazy.
Next year's Bama team will be better than this year's.
Yep.
But I guess next Friday we'll have to talk about it or we'll look forward to it. We'll see what happens. And I'm sure
if you see Paul missing next Friday from our show, you know what happened.
And I'm sure somehow, regardless of who wins, there'll be some kind of comment about the Florida Gators. Somehow, some way, it will find its way in there. So there's that. So, John?
Well, Paul?
Well, John? That means it's time to go. We do appreciate y'all for watching and tuning in to the John and Paul Show. A lot of ways to communicate with us. Please go and like our fan page. We're going to start airing our show from the page. So to get it exclusively from the page, please do that. And that is on Facebook, John and Paul. That's 2 N's in John. It's not 2 N's in John. It's just 1 N after John and Paul Show. Website is the same, johnandpaulshow.com. Go check out the website. Don't check us out, but check out the website. And also on Twitter and Instagram at John and Paul Show. Follow us. Look forward to anything you have to say. Send us an email at johnandpaulshow@gmail.com. Thanks for being here. That is John Podine, light and bright like an angel. This is Paul Sperlin in the studio.
Here, I'm playing our song, Paul.
Thank you for tuning in. This has been the John and Paul Show. Have a great weekend. Have a great week. Have a great 2019. Happy New Year. We love you. God bless. Peace out.